This hunter was geared with just LFR and solo content only. And the best part is, there's also still time for you to get a 515 weapon before heading into the War Within. I'll show you how to do that as well, just doing LFR content. You definitely want to get some gear under your belt, because when it comes to leveling in the War Within, it's going to take a while if you don't pick up any gear beforehand. You and I are going on a journey through all the solo methods, including crafting, world content, topping it off with just some LFR at the end to get a 515 item. So let's get into it. First thing you want to do each week leading up, and you have 2 of them left, you want to do the last Hurrah quest. All of the zones are now going to be empowered with the Awakened effect, which that means that they're going to be giving better gear. You're going to get a 493 piece by completing your last Hurrah quest, and this is going to get you off to a really great start. The nice part is too, by completing any of those world events that you have to for your last Hurrah quest are also going to award you some veteran gear depending on your luck of drops. However, there is an important consideration when it comes to picking your last Hurrah quest. Unlike the weeks way before where you had just one option, having a choice means you can skip out on the ones that are a little bit more frustrating to do. I do suggest avoiding the Dragon Isles option. The Dragon Isles option is going to make you do a few or a couple of events that are going to be on a timer that come up after a cooldown, and you might be stuck just trying to fight to find the right time for you to jump in there and complete. You can't go wrong with picking up the Zarelak Caverns or picking up the Emerald Dream option, because both of these only have one of those events in it that you have to do. The other things can just be completed on your own time. Now, once again, upon completion of the last Hurrah quest, you're going to get that 493 piece, which is awesome. And also, too, the rewards you get from doing the world events is going to be in the track of Veteran. Just so you all know, you definitely want to do the world boss because you're going to get awakened loot from the world boss. I only see 1 awakened this week, even though all zones are awakened. Let me know in the comment section below if you were able to get loot off the other bosses, if it was a 493 piece or a champion level piece of gear. But right now you can see Bazul in Azur's Span is going to be awakened this week. If I take a look at in the Emerald Dream, you can see he doesn't have the blue outline. And also if I take a look at the Zakiri Elders, and same for the Zakiri Elders, there's no blue outline there either. So I don't think they're awakened, but let me know in the comment section below if it is awakened for you. Next thing you want to do is you want to head over and at least complete your daily when it comes to the Radiant events, the Prepatch event. This is really quick to do, extremely fast, and just getting the Radiant Echoes means that you're going to be able to equip yourself with a couple of the veteran pieces. And really the main objective is that you want to hit the minimum requirement for heading into LFR. LFR is going to require that you have at least a 463 gear score. At this point, depending on how far behind you are in your gear score, there's a couple different options you can do. If you're still behind, check with Kazra as well. There is a 493 cache on this character usually. This week, there's the event going on with time walking. Next week, it'll be something different. But if you are watching this before August 13th, then you can still do this one to get another 493 piece as well. Now, let's talk about Sparks. Sparks you're going to get from the last Hurrah quest, and also they're going to drop randomly through the content that you're doing. This is going to enable you to make more powerful gear that is going to put you at like a 502 mark for the pieces that you do make with a Spark. Splintered Spark of Awakening. Now this is going to be really confusing for returning players because we also have the Splintered Spark of Dreams, and then we have a Splintered Spark of Shadow Flame. These 2 sparks are going to be from the previous seasons and not as good as the Splintered Spark of Awakening. Each week we get the opportunity to get 2 Splintered Sparks of Awakening. There is a catch-up mechanic where you're going to be able to earn a lot more of these. They're going to randomly drop if you haven't been actively participating in the past season, or if you're just coming back to the game right now, then you will be able to find these regularly as you complete your last Hurrah, as you complete quests, participate in events, and then also fight bosses. You will start finding these. Just make sure that you complete your last Hurrah quest first, because that's going to make your character eligible to start finding these. And you can put those together to make into 1 Spark of Awakening each week. One of them is going to come from the last Hurrah quest. Once you complete that and open up the cache, you'll get your 1 splinter. And then the other one is going to come from completing the Awakened raid for the week. You're going to want to do this anyway because you get your bronze bullion this way, and it's on the same catch-up mechanic. Now, what we want to do once we get 2 splinters is we're going to want to combine these by using some of our flight stones, 250 to be exact, to be able to make this into a Spark of Awakening. So let's go ahead and do that now. You just right click on it. It's going to do a cast, and then you're going to create your spark. Now down here, you can see I have this Spark of Awakening. Now notice it gives you the range of item levels it can craft. It can go all the way up to 502. Now this can be enhanced even further, and we'll get into that in just a second. Now let's take a look at how we can use this. If you head over to the crafting order station, you're going to be able to look up gear that you want to use your spark in. If you do have the profession that makes your armor proficiencies armor, then you're able to craft this yourself. But if you don't, no worries. You can just get it done for you in the crafting order station. You're going to head on over here. You're going to search for the piece of gear that you want. I suggest referencing a build guide or a gearing guide for Beast Mastery Hunters, which is what I'm playing. Adaptive Drakkenthist arm guards are something that we're going to want to take into the raid, help buff our raid members. So we're going to go ahead and click on this. We're going to be able to provide it a spark, okay? Because look at this base. The base is going to be 382. We can increase this up to 489 at a base level just by adding a spark in there. Same as any other recipe, you're able to provide it enhancements. These are going to be, once again, from completing higher end content like heroic mythic raids or completing the higher level keystones for mythic. But if you're coming in to craft your first item, you're not going to attach either of these, and you're just going to make it with the Spark of Awakening and nothing else. This is going to get you up to the possibility of a 502 piece. First thing we want to do, we're going to go ahead and track the recipe. It appears over here on the side under the Profession tab, and let's go to the auction house and buy those items. I wanted to make a quick note for anyone that's just joining us here in Dragonflight. You are going to see qualities attached to each of the reagents that you get to be able to make these items. The higher tier or quality of reagent you get, the higher chance of getting a higher item level piece. So you want to go ahead and buy what's reasonable to buy. Some of them are really, really expensive for the highest quality, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. For example, this one over here was a fraction of the cost for just getting the silver quality instead. Right now, most profession players are going to have skill requirements that are going to far exceed what you need to have. But I'll show you in just a second where you can actually put a requirement for the quality level that you expect to get back. So let's head back to that same panel. So we can go over here and look where we can still put in our spark. We have all the materials that we need. If we want to ensure that we get the high end of the range that's available to this piece, like remember, it can be anywhere from 489 to 502. That's where skill comes into play. We want to make sure that we give this to a high skilled profession player that's going to be able to make this into the top end quality. So that's where if we make this into a personal order, we can set an expected quality. If we wanted to get the maximum available, we can set that as our minimum to make sure that we definitely get the legendary quality. So I do suggest spamming trade chat to be able to find somebody to send to. I'm about to do that now. All right, so I found a guy and I sent a personal order to him with a minimum rank of the legendary quality. And what do you know? We got the arm guards back with a 502 quality. Now, with all those previous options, or even a selection of them, we should be at 463, which makes us eligible for LFR. And the reason why LFR is so great, especially in this Awakened season, is that it's going to award us Bullion Bronze tokens. These are going to make it so that we can buy Awakened pieces of gear, which are on their whole other own upgrade track, which takes them all the way up to the highest item levels. So we're able to just buy one of these pieces and then keep putting flight stones and crests into it until it upgrades into the hero track and more. And by us using another currency that we can get off of the vault, we can upgrade this all the way up to a 515 piece, which means that we can walk into war with him with a 515 weapon. Best part is week 2, you can have a piece upgraded all the way to 515. Let's get into it. So first thing you're going to notice is that when we talk about things on the Awakened gear track, these are going to be the items that are from the bronze bullion you're going to get from doing the Awakened raid from LFR or any of the raid versions that are awakened that week. So to catch you up on the bronze bullion, you're going to be able to get up to 6 of these just by doing your raid bosses, because there is a catch-up mechanic on it where you can collect up to 6 more of them, which is going to translate into 3 different pieces that are going to be on the Awakened track. This is going to be really strong for going into the War Within. because each piece is going to start at 493. There's only going to be enough time though for you to upgrade one of them to the 515 mark, but you only need 2 weeks to do it. 2 resets is going to be what you need to be able to make that 515 gear level. And you get these as you're killing bosses in LFR. It's going to be a random chance for it to drop. Just keep fighting bosses until you get the bullion you need. It's a random drop. Usually you're going to get on the first one, but for me, it took until the second LFR boss kill. The reason why they're so important and why you want to get these is because you can take these over the Bronze Enclave and you're able to turn these into a vendor, 2 of them, to be able to get a raid level piece that's on the Awakened track. And again, thanks to Gandalin for making this. I'll link in the description below. And it really lays it out just perfectly. What's different about this is going to be this part over here where we have the awakened items. Okay, so these awakened items are the ones that you can purchase with the bullion, and they're going to start at that champion level of 493. Now notice you can take the same piece and upgrade it all the way down the path. It is not going to cut off at the different points. You can take an awakened piece from rank 1 up to, in some cases, a 14th rank, can get all the way up to the 515 level, awakened level 8, which is still max level hero gear, which is the equivalent of doing, you can see over here, 515 would be equivalent of a mythic 7 level piece of gear for doing LFR. That's pretty good. So first of all, like I mentioned before, we're going to want to get our bronze bullion. We're going to need 2 of them to be able to even buy one of these pieces. Basically, it works like this. If we complete 6 awakened raid bosses, we're going to be able to unlock 3 different sections on our vault. That's important because when you choose between picking a piece of gear from the vault, you also get the choice of another currency at the bottom called an aspect's tokens of merit. And you're going to get 2 of them for each square you've unlocked to a cap of 6. So for example, if we're completing raids, if we've completed 1, we're going to get 2 of them. If we completed 2, we're going to get 4 of them. And if we've completed 3, we'll get 6 of them. You can actually take these over to the vendor right next to the vault, and you can exchange these for 15 Worms Awakened crests. Those are the upgrade materials for hero level gear. You can get Drake's Awakened crests from this as well to upgrade your champion gear up. So let's take a look at it on the graph. So here is where our purchase is made on our level 1 Awakened piece. We turn in 2 bronze bullion from the 2 weeks of doing LFR, and we buy our level 1 Awakened piece. Now, what we can do, if we did 6 awakened bosses each week, we're going to have 12 tokens to spend, because remember, we're going to get 2 vault resets in there. We chose the tokens, 6 tokens each time. We have 6 tokens in our bags, and we're able to turn them in for upgrades. We're going to need, if we're taking that 1 piece of gear, if we want to upgrade it all the way to the hero level, we're going to buy 4 of the handful of awakened Drake's crests, which is going to leave us with 8 aspects tokens of merit. Now we can take those leftover ones and then buy 4 of the upgrades for the Worms Awakened crests, and we'll be able to upgrade that piece all the way up to 515 as soon as we buy it on week 2. This is really useful to players that are only wanting to do LFR specific content. Now that you got your 515 weapon going into the War Within, you're going to want to start thinking about your professions now. Take a look at my guide in the description. I have a specialization for tailoring in the description below that takes advantage of daily cooldowns to be able to sell time-gated items. And also I have an alchemy guide in the description as well that goes over the same thing for alchemy. This is perfect for an alt army strategy for taking advantage of time-gated items. A great combination for any of your alt characters that you have on your account. All right, everyone, if the video did help you out today, please strike the like button. If you want to stay tuned for more WoW content in the future, please bash the subscribe. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.